Wewe, hiyo argument ya parents waambie Manyora anasema mimi ndio nawapenda kuliko wao vile wanajipenda. Mimi nawapenda kuliko vile wanajipenda kwa sababu gani? Mimi napenda mtoto wako aishi miaka ingine 20 katika nchi ambayo atafurahia kuishi. Na kila anacho atakifurahia, atakuwa na nyumba yake, atakula chakula kizuri, watoto wake wataishi vizuri na ataruhusiwa kuishi hivyo, manake wale watu wengine pia nao wanaishi.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Candid Talk. My name is Evan Sokinya, and definitely this is the only show that brings you up and candid with relative analysis of current affairs and everything pertaining to matters public administration and governance in this country. I'm joined by friend here, of course, Professor Herman Manyora. Prof, how are you today?
Good.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Evans.
You look speak and span, they say.
There I am.
African.
Yes.
In your own art here.
Correct.
Could this be possibly made in Kenya, or is it?
This is a Kika 10,000 fashions from a man called Danga.
Okay.
Yes.
Definitely.
Good.
Doing our products here.
Great.
Prof, matters. A lot of things that are actually taking place right now as we talk, and I saw something that I don't know whether it also astonished you, but I was astonished. Though I still congratulate Professor George Magoha. Actually saw him transition. Now he's a don, he's a university don at Maseno University School of Medicine, actually, sitting down there. And I saw you actually react to his appointment on Twitter. I mean,
what did I say? I can't remember. Did I react to it? Magoha is my friend. I hope I didn't say something bad.
No, it wasn't something bad, but here we are, seeing the Professor George Magoha moving all the way from the Vice Chancellor at the University of Nairobi to the chairman.
You know, we are teachers.
From NEC to Minister of Education, and then now on there.
You know, we are teachers. Once a teacher, always a teacher.
Once a teacher, always a teacher.
Yeah. Even me, when I retire soon, I can go and teach in my primary school, Lombe Primary School. Once a teacher, always a teacher. Except people are wondering, how can you go so high and then go so low?
Yeah, but actually, I didn't mean you. What would
if I had the accolades Magoha has, the 2 kilometer long CV and all that, and experience and exposure and network, I would perhaps set up a research center. Yeah. I would even maybe do philanthropy. I would set up an organization or an outfit, whatever you call it, that raises funds to give interventions in his area of specialty, which is the urology. Men having problems, yeah. That's I will concentrate it either on research or on some sort of philanthropy. I will set up a center that helps men who have dysfunction, erectile dysfunction, which is his specialty, and other urological issues.
Definitely.
In that area, just that narrow area of mine, and seek funding from across. Because now he has a name, he can seek funding. To go and teach, to me, I don't think.
Of course, definitely, when you're looking at medical professionals in this country, then definitely you cannot miss the name of Professor George Magoha there.
That's what I'm saying. Is a tough.
What if it's just okay? He's decided to go produce more doctors, well, perhaps better than him. Perhaps he's decided not.
You know, let me tell you this. You know, we are human beings. After a certain age, your ability to engage in active teaching is compromised. And therefore, you are more of an advisory person. And therefore, you need to be given a special seat. I would have thought maybe emeritus position at the University of Nairobi would have been a more fitting position for Magoha. But because of the name, because of the reputation, because of the contacts, I would think a center dedicated to issues in his line of medicine would be a more fitting thing. But to go and take chalk and tell people, what? No, you don't. I've seen even only vice chancellors who have retired, when they walk on campus, they look really bad. You know, when you are towering there, the problem, you see, it will be okay in America. Because a vice chancellor in America is just a teacher, if he's a teacher. Just elevated to first among equals. But here, vice chancellors are gods. So Magoha was a god at the University of Nairobi. Our god. So now, when you meet him with chalk, he doesn't. I see them. I see former vice chancellors who have been, you know, we have produced all these vice chancellors in all these small little universities. When they come back to the University of Nairobi and you meet them, they don't look well. I want to come by.
Be very fun to find.
Enye want to come by.
Professor Kiama back to the classroom.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is that. In sticking to matters education, Prof. Recently, we've had the Form 1 selection taking place, and a number of Kenyans, or rather parents, are actually crying foul, saying that their children did not actually get the schools of choice, and they've actually questioned the kind of criteria that was used for the selection of those who are supposed to join Form 1 this year. Now, if you look at the pupils, or rather who got 400 and above marks, definitely you assume that these are students who would automatically get chances at the national schools. The national schools space that we have is around 38,000. These students were 9,000. Now, even some of those who got 400 marks out of that 9,000 were unable to get spaces in the 38,000 that is available in the entire country within the national schools. Prof, what do you think is happening? Because a number of parents feel derailed, the pupils feel kind of wondering, how can I work so hard to go to a national school and then I end up in some sort of a village school? Some of them do say so.
You are right, I should know. I thank Kenyans for thinking I'm a big man. The moment the results were out in terms of admissions, the number of people who have approached me, I just even laugh. People think I'm big in this country. I'm a very small man.
To help them?
Now even if I switch on my phone, every 10 minutes there will be, I don't know how many asking for assistance. And some of the cases are outright ridiculous, like you say. All schools are supposed to be the same. But we've created the image. And it's not just creating. The truth is, you cannot compare Kenya High to Munzate Secondary School, to some Goibei girls where I come from. Surely, you cannot. Even Nyabururu may be a big school. Some of the people want me to help the one kids who have been admitted in Nyabururu. I remember I used to go there for teaching practice. A good school, big school. You cannot compare good as Nyabururu is to Alliance Girls, for example, and so on and so forth. So, we have created this class, and by making some schools look so elitist, so big, so nice, and others are just there. So naturally, these things people are saying, they will be expected. That you want your daughter to go to Kenya High, Moi Girls, Eldoret, Loreto, Limuru, those kind of things, and then they are taken to Butere. Butere is a good school, but a much smaller school. Well, there's nothing you can do when you have so many applicants against so few places. That's what you would expect. But maybe the only thing I have not liked myself is Kenyans take their children to academies, private schools, the so-called academies, pay a lot of money there. Other Kenyans take their children to poor schools like Lombe Primary School. Now, you want the child from Lombe Primary School to compete with your child from Makini School for Form 1 place. Let's stop that. I'm never for that. I'm neither rich nor poor. But I say that is wrong. Those who have taken their children to these academies must follow up and take their children to private secondary schools. Yes, that's how it should be. I've taken my children to both schools I know. Yeah. I've benefited. But I'm saying it is not right to make a child from some school in Suneka, Kisii, where people go without shoes, to compete with a child who went to a top academy in this country, to compete for the same place in Alliance High School. No, it's wrong.
But
If you, wewe ulikuwa na nguvu ya kupeleka mtoto private primary school, peleka private secondary school.
Then now this actually now some of the even the private secondary schools that you were saying, we have public secondary schools which are way much better than those private secondary schools. That
Which
you're
ones?
talking about. Yeah.
Primary or?
No, I'm talking about high school. That is.
Yes.
Yes.
Then the same people must develop good secondary schools.
You know, we are working.
You know me, I am an extremist, but I know what I'm looking at. I'm staring at the class society we are creating, and I know the danger inherent. And when that thing will come, then you'll say, I wish we listened to people like Manyora. Let's avoid creating a class society. Let's have all schools well developed. Because the people who should develop these primary schools are letting the schools to rot because they are taking their children to academies. Then after class 8, wanakata corner. They want to take the good places in good public schools like Alliance. No. Let them develop these primary schools.
So whose role is that to develop this?
We are the same people.
But now, Prof, my question is this.
Yes.
Parents are actually questioning the kind of criteria that was used.
That is part of the problem. That is part of the problem. That is, you must begin there. Because if you begin there, you remove all these fellows who went to private schools. Remove all of them. Let them look for private schools. Then remain with those who went to...
against others, merely
Let me
because they went
repeat.
to private schools.
Let me repeat. Anybody who went to a private primary school should look for a private secondary school.
Come on.
Yes. Then, those who went to public schools, let them compete for places in public schools. Start there. The noise you are seeing will not be there. It will be much less. Because these guys from private schools are taking up all the good places. Yeah. Causing the distortion you are talking about.
If anybody was to buy your kind of argument,
It has been there. That debate has been there.
would perhaps, yeah, it could be very simple. If in case we were there in the initial 844 system, then a parent would take the child to a private school up to around grade 7 or so, and then register the kid in a public school, who then will know that this person learned in a private school.
That is not possible. That's not possible
So
because
that is actually what I'm
that's not possible if you are keen, because every child in school has a number. They call it names or something like that. That should be able to track the child.
But that is neither here nor there.
No, it's there. It's there. We are just not following it. If we followed it, you cannot move from a private school and register for exams in a public school. If we followed it, yeah. Because children learn in Nairobi, they go and do exams in Luombe, villages, and then they disadvantage those children from those places. Those practices must be stopped. Because ultimately, even the idea of subjecting a child from Turkana to the same exam with a child from Nairobi, we must re-examine it as a people. Otherwise, these people will never catch up with the rest. Yeah, America has had to handle that issue, although it was overplayed. When Trump came, he was trying to remove it. It was there. Yeah, you must address those issues. Otherwise, you continue laughing and thinking you are clever because you have some small position and some little money. You take your children to good schools. Then you go and grab all the good places in Form 1 and you laugh. You are creating danger for yourselves in this country. For the same children, they will not live in a peaceful country. Yeah, they will not.
And believe you me, by the time that you are addressing this, it's not only the pupils from private schools who have been affected by this. There are those who actually went to public schools, scored 400 marks,
Yes.
and actually based on that merit, they were expecting to go to good national schools of their choice, according to them, but they've not ended up.
But that place has been taken by somebody from a private school.
How?
Most likely because their father is known. Now, let's face it, it's the truth.
So where is the problem? Is it the problem?
I'm a beneficiary. I know I have benefited from it. I've had children in private schools and they have gone to good national schools. I know it, but it's not fair. The fact that I've benefited doesn't make it fair. It's not fair. Let's not push Kenyans into believing that. No, they will push Kenyans to a point they come to believe that you rich people have decided that those in Kibra will remain there all the days of their life. And their children born there will not go beyond Kibra. And the grandchildren of these people in Kibra will remain in Kibra. That is dangerous to any country. We must create hope. I remember when I was growing up, this hope was created when people were told, take your children to school. And when the children go to school, they'll get good jobs and they will change your fortunes. A bit of that happened. That was giving hope to the poor of society. If the rich are going to grab all the big places in a manner to leave no hope among the Kibra people, the Kawangware people, the Lumbei people, and the rest of those people, you are caught in danger.
No.
It'll be a disaster.
Prof, my question is...
It's small things like this.
Let me... Okay. One,
Yeah.
you're talking as if every kind of pupil who learns in a private school comes from a wealthy kind of background or some sort of a good background. Some of these pupils we have around here come from very humble backgrounds, and their parents definitely struggle to pay for them fees, even in those private schools, so that they can actually kind of get the so they call quality education down there, and in a bid to perhaps get a chance in good national schools for that matter. So I wonder where is the problem?
That argument has been advanced. That not everybody who takes a child to private school is rich.
True, yeah. Not everybody.
Okay. Let me tell you this. If you go to the village today, all the teachers, almost without exception, are taking their children to the so-called academies. Premier Academy. You know it, eh? So you wear small little academies. They now do not care how the children they teach learn. This is being cascaded from up, where everybody in society with some little ability is running away from primary school, from public schools, and running to academies. Who then will make these public schools work? The ideal situation for this country, if I am the president of this country, is to have no private school.
That is where I was going to differ.
No private school. Let me tell you. There are countries, if you put up a private school, nobody will go there. Nobody will go there.
What?
The ideal situation, not even ideal, what we should strive to be as a country is a country where if you open your private clinic or hospital, nobody goes there.
Why?
Because the public hospitals are working. The aim of our aim should be to have a country where if you open a chemist, nobody goes there. You close it. Because the government hospitals have drugs. Public hospitals are functional and they are free. Public primary and secondary schools are sufficient for the Kenyan population. And they have the requisite infrastructure. Teachers who are well paid, well taken care of, well housed, good classrooms, good laboratories, public schools. So that even if somebody constructed a private school, you cannot take your child there. That is the Kenya we should have. This is the Kenya that is sustainable. This other Kenya you are creating is not sustainable. The plane will crash across the Atlantic. This plane cannot go. You can't land it in America across the Atlantic. It can't. It's not sustainable.
Definitely.
Because once you close hope, people see there's absolutely no hope. My friend, there will be an implosion and an explosion. The country cannot run that way.
We have private institutions in the country, even up to the higher learning level. I think it's upon everybody's choice to actually go whichever place that the person deems right. So I wonder why you'd say that you're looking at a situation whereby we will have no private schools in this country. But then, anyway, that is neither here nor there. Here we are as a country. We've not yet reached that level that you were talking about here. The pupils have sat their exams. They've passed the result quite well. Whether what happens, they expect to be joining good schools, national schools for that matter. Why would you punish them? Why would the government kind of try to do something that would perhaps jeopardize their life?
Remember, when you say good schools, and by your own arithmetics, your own numbers, we have 38,000 in those national schools. Even as you talk of national schools with 38,000, a lot of them are not even national schools by any definition. When we moved from the original 18, I think they were 18 or something. They were below 18, then they became 18, and then we expanded to I don't know how many. So even when you talk of 38,000, not all those schools, parents would love them. I have a lot of people wanting me to help them to move their children from those so-called national schools. But let us even accept they are good. 38,000 out of how many?
No, the 38,000, that is the space that is available to accommodate actually the students who got, okay, 38,000 is the space that is available for the national schools that we have in the country.
I'm asking you, let us assume that 38,000 are good places. And I'm telling you, not all of them are. Not all of them are Alliance and Kenya High and Lenana, no. These are just wannabes. So let me answer your question.
Get me right, first of all. We are not talking about 38,000 schools.
38,000 vacancies.
Vacancies.
Yes.
And those who got 400 plus above marks were 9,000.
Yes.
Yet they cannot fit in these 30,000. What's wrong? And that is why I was questioning. I mean, 9,000 against 38,000. And that is what parents are lamenting about here.
I have tried to explain to you what should be a straightforward thing, you have to distort it. How do you distort it? First, you say, we will create so many positions for anybody, regardless of whether now that Uhuru has left power, we cannot talk of regardless. So we'll go back to regardless. Regardless of what school or category, whether private or public, a certain cutoff will take the admissions, the places where they have chosen. You see, you have already distorted the picture. It's not a straightforward thing. It's not a simple formula. You are distorting it. Then you go and say also, after that, we shall now admit using this 1, 2, 3 criteria. In the olden days, there was also the quota arrangement of it. So you have distorted what should have been a straightforward criteria. In other words, we just say, we have 10,000 students who have got 400 and above. They take the best places in the country. You can't say that because you have done some sort of seeding to accommodate private schools. You get it? So what you need to do is say, private schools, kaa kando. Nyinyi ni matajiri. Na kama wewe tajiri, nani amekutuma kukaa kwa meza ya matajiri? Wewe umejifinyilia pale kwa matajiri, kaa hapo na matajiri wako. Tafuteni shule zenyu. Waache watoto wa raia. Simple formula. By your mark inakupeleka. The top, we rank the schools. The best schools, the best according to marks. Mpaka tumalizane na hao. That will be simple. What should be simple has been made complicated because of the private schools. I don't know, you got my explanation.
Well, that is your explanation.
Although I do not believe in this idea that we must have certain schools that are good. If it is me, all those privates, all those top schools, the government should turn them into other trainings. They train other things in service for teachers, but not schools.
Those who believe that perhaps if Baba had gotten into power, then you would have become the cabinet secretary in charge of education. Right now, they're trying to change their mind, going by what you're saying here.
Why? No, I'm not. You know, let me tell you, Evans. Let me tell you the difference between. Let me tell you the difference between me and many people. People like saying things that are popular. It is popular to say, no, all these are Kenyan children. Not everybody who goes to a private school is rich. It's very popular, and people they'll meet you in the street, say, yes, you are the one who knows. But they are courting disaster. The same child you are working for, so hard to go to Alliance, he will live in a country where he will have no peace. So what have you benefited? There will be no peace in a country where 99% of the people are poor and cannot afford anything. Well, when only 1 or 2% have everything. Today, let me finish this. There are parts of this country, let me not name them, where you drive past or you walk and see beautiful houses. Nobody stays in those houses. People stay in the nearest town. There are people with beautiful houses in Kiambu and elsewhere. Kisumu, Vihiga, where? They go to the towns. People in Kiambu, they are staying in Nairobi. They have left those palatial homes. You can't live there. The state of insecurity in the country is so bad. Because how do you expect to live in a village of a place of, say, 300, 500 families who don't know what to eat in the evening, and you have a mansion there? You have 10 cars parked there. You won't sleep there in peace. So this is a no-brainer. And I'm telling Kenyans, it is easy to be populist, but it's better to face the truth that we cannot have a sustainable country where every good thing, including good schools, is the preserve of a few people. I tell you today, it is so sad that in a place like Lenan High School, for example, many children, a few of those who are lucky enough to go there from poor families, they will not take their chances. Let anybody challenge me. I was one of the people who educated some children in Lenana when my children were there. One of them reminded me he's an MP now. Nilichanga kidogo. You see what I'm saying? We cannot live in a country where there are children in my village who are called to schools like Kakamega High School, another one in Mangu High School. If Bush is here, they will remember. They could not take. So they came to Luombe CDF school. Lucky enough, one of them got a B, went to university, mwingine amepata UC+. You can't live in a country like that. A country where the best of everything is for those with money and positions in the country. And then we forget that you are living in Karen and everybody else is in Kibra. Wewe, hiyo argument ya parents waambie Manyora anasema, mimi ndio nawapenda kuliko wao vile wanajipenda. Mimi nawapenda kuliko vile wanajipenda kwa sababu gani? Mimi napenda mtoto wako aishi miaka ingine 20 katika nchi ambayo atafurahia kuishi. Na kila anacho atakifurahia, atakuwa na nyumba yake, atakula chakula kizuri, watoto wake wataishi vizuri na ataruhusiwa kuishi hivyo, manake wale watu wengine pia nao wanaishi. In the West, as we finish, the common man may not have cheese or butter for that matter, but at least have some bread. Sisi hapa hatujui kwamba huwezi kukula vile vinofu na vinono na vizuri na vitamu wakati mtu hata hawezi pata madondo peke yake na unasikia utaishi katika nchi. These guys will come for you. Alliance High School kigani.
Definitely. There you have it from the hard-hitting professor here actually talking matters relating to education. And now that he's an expert, let's wait and see what will actually take place. But it beats logic definitely, because leaving those students outside definitely will give the room for to find these students. They'll definitely get a chance there, whether their parents will. Toa kitu kidogo, obviously ni nchi ya kitu kidogo, ni nchi ya watu wadogo. Ladies and gentlemen, tune in to some of our programs that will be airing here with Gerald Kabiro coming with his analysis on political current affairs, and of course with Richard Mwenja also coming with his programs of Siasa Brigade and Business Glide. Ladies and gentlemen, till we meet again, my name is Evans Okinyi.